Daytona is 3,000 feet long. The majority of it is off to the left and a little bit left on our right. Now, the Speedway itself fully is a 2.5 mile or 2.5 mile super speedway. We have 31 degrees of banking in turns 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. We have 3 degrees of banking on our front stretch, on our back stretch. And then on the front stretch, we have what's called a tri-oval. And I'm not going to tell you what degree of banking that is. I'm going to actually ask if anyone wants to guess, or maybe you know. Now, we'll do that when we get there, because that's going to be our next stop where we will be getting off the tram, right at the start and finish line. So, right now, folks, I am going to take a little bit of a break myself, because every tour we play this audio tape that sort of introduce you to this facility, and this is narrated by 3-time Daytona champion Jeff Gordon.
Hi, this is 3-time Daytona 500 champion Jeff Gordon. I'm pleased to welcome all of you to Daytona International Speedway. Nearly 60 years ago, a small-town auto mechanic named Bill France Sr. dreamed of creating a racetrack that was bigger, faster, and more exciting than any before it. In the ensuing decades, his belief in Big International Speedway into the world center of racing. Synonymous with names like Petty, Earnhardt, and Allison, Daytona International Speedway has captured the imaginations of the millions who have set foot on these hallowed grounds. Now, Bill France's dream has taken yet another step forward with the reimagination of this American icon, blending the modern amenities that today's sports fans demand with the heritage that race fans expect from Daytona. As 2016 saw the closest finish in the history of the Great American Race, it not only conjured memories of Johnny Beauchamp and Lee Petty's 3-wide race experience, it had changed the core of what Bill France envisioned decades ago. Welcome to the World Center of Racing.
Yes, folks, welcome to the World Center of Racing. And here we are at Daytona. Now, right on your right, it's 31 degrees of banking. Now, we're coming through turns 4 here. You'll notice that the banking is going to decrease. This is called the transition point, which is probably the most important part of the track that they have to get right. It's easy to drive through 3 degrees of banking. It's easy to drive through 31 degrees of banking. 5 miles an hour through the turns. They need a nice smooth transition down to 31 degrees. That is what we have here at Daytona. Now we're heading toward the front stretch here, folks, and we're entering our seating venue. Now this seating venue here at Daytona, this is the newest addition to our property. Basically bringing our speedway into the 21st century with this state-of-the-art seating venue. Now, folks, this is 8/10 of a mile long, believe it or not. That's right, 8/10 of a mile long, and contains 101,500 seats. Now, every one of these seats are exactly the same, regardless of back armrest and a cup holder. And you'll notice that the majority of our seats have this sort of a random multicolored design to them. Well, that is intentional, obviously. The idea for that is the TV audience at home. You see, if you're watching a race at home on TV, and say we have a few empty seats, well, it's supposed to look like there are people sitting in those empty seats. But of course, that's never an issue with the Daytona 500, as we sell out every year. Now, it is going to sell out again, so I believe there are a few seats left if you're interested in coming to next Daytona 500 in February. All right, folks, we are now coming again to the, well, not again, but as I mentioned again, we are coming to the start-finish line, and we will be making our next stop. And this one, we will be getting off the tram. Now, one thing that's very important, and this is made to the Speedway. Now, many of you were here at the start-finish line. We're up against that outside wall. Well, that's what I'd like to talk about right now. That outside wall, you notice it's a two-layered wall. Now, the furthest portion of the outside wall, that is solid concrete. And that was part of the original construction. Now, inside of that is the SAFER barrier. SAFER stands for Steel and Foam Energy Reduction. And I say this is the best, most important improvement, as folks, is because since we've had this barrier installed, we have not had a single fatality at any NASCAR track. Now, it's not just the wall; it's also all the car itself has been improved over the years with the seating and the helmets and the Hans device. There's so many improvements, so it's become a much safer sport, and a lot of it is due to that outside wall. Well, here we are, folks, on pit road here in Daytona. is 1,600 feet long, and we have 41 pit stalls. Now, one thing I want you to notice, if you look to the right, you'll see that each pit stall has a number. And you're probably saying, okay, big deal. So anyway, just watch the sequence of numbering, and you'll see what I'm getting at. You can see pit number 11, 12, and then 12A, and then 14, 15, and so on. Yeah, what's missing? That's right, no, pit number 13. Apparently Big Bill France was a bit superstitious. Now, while we do have 41 pit stalls, we do not have a number 13. And this brings us on to the Rolex chute. Now, this roadway is dedicated to that series, as this archway we're going under right now. You see this green arch? This is itself dedicated to the Rolex series. Now, the Rolex series is technically not the actual name of it. Rolex is the title sponsor, but it's actually the IMSA Sports Car Series, which is the International Motorsports Association. But anyway, this is known as the Rolex Series. All right, folks, we're going to make our next stop here. Because of color scheme. But this is more commonly known, at least for the last 11 years, as the Xfinity garages. Now, Xfinity has been the title sponsor of this NASCAR Stock Car Series for the last 11 years, but they are out now. They've given it up. The new title sponsor is O'Reilly Auto Parts. So now I got to get used to calling the series the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, you know. So anyway, that's a tongue twister, but I'll get used to it. Now these garages, oops, I can't go into the fan zone. I just got a call. Hopefully I can get around here. I don't know why I can't go through. They're not painting there. And I don't know where they are. They told me I couldn't go through the fan zone. So anyway, we're going to go as close as we can. Right in here is the fan zone, folks. We normally just usually take a look. Windows give you an opportunity to actually watch the teams work on the race car with the driver there in the garage, because, well, that's where his car is. That's where he's working also. So what you can do is find out where your favorite driver is, which garage he's in, and you can go there, watch through the window, him or her, whoever's in there, working on the race car. Now, another feature of that is you can actually go up on the roof of those garages, called the fan deck. And we have stairs that'll bring you up on top of the roof, and you can, from that vantage point, you can see all the action in the garage area, not just in the actual garage itself. But it's a good place to watch from. So, again, that is what's available. If in the corner of that building, you see where it says tickets, or you can buy them on the front stretch or online. Now, you're going to take a tram over here, just like you're on today. That is how you get back and forth from the fan zone back to the front stretch, is on one of our trams. Now, on the left here, this is a camping area for the drivers. That is an exclusive area and a private area for the drivers and families only. Now, on our right here, this is part of the interior road course. Now, the interior road course here, you can't use it independently because it's connected to the Speedway. So when you're using the entire course, so you take the 1.06 mile interior section, the 2.5 mile super speedway, you now have a 3.56 mile full course. Now the full course is used quite a bit throughout the year. Back in 2004, again, we reduced Lake Lloyd from 44 acres to 29 acres to accommodate these campsites. Now, let's get back to Lake Lloyd. I told you I'd get back to it and tell you exactly why we had to build a lake here. Again, it is not a natural lake, it is man-made. Now, here's the reason why. You see, back in the mid-50s, when Big Bill France acquired this property, well, it had everything he wanted and needed in order to build this 2.5 mile super speedway, except for one thing, banking. That's right, folks. You see, Florida is flat, and so is this piece of property. So there were no hills on the property to steal any material from to build this banking. And of course, this banking did not just pop up out of the ground. Nope, they had to be constructed. So, where did they get all the material from to do that? It's probably coming clear to you now, isn't it? That's right, Lake Lloyd. They dug out over 1 million cubic yards of dirt from where that lake sits today in order to build the banking you see around this 2.5 mile facility. And that just left a really big hole in the ground. So the decision was to fill it with water and make a lake out of it. Hence Lake Lloyd. The problem was, folks, we had a rash of wildfires that summer, and the race had to be postponed until October. But in October of 1998, before a sold-out crowd, NASCAR held its first night race here at Daytona, and that race was won by Jeff Gordon. And once turn was that through the turn was out, and again, this was part of our 2004 renovations. This tunnel here is 500 feet long and stands 13.5 feet tall. And now as we exit the infield, we're actually doing something that's quite rare in Florida. We are climbing a hill. On your right here, folks, these are 3 covered checkpoints. This is where you gain access to the infield. So if you have business in the infield during one of our major events, well, you need to have proper credentials. And you will be checked at that location by security before you're allowed to enter. Now, on our right here, this open area here, this is the west lot. Now, this is a large camping area for full-size RVs. And this, again, will be completely full. Come Speedway, they have over 800 campsites there in the west lot. And down to the right, you see a Daytona flat track. Well, that flat track is a quarter-mile dirt track, and that is used by motorcycles and cars. All right, folks, we turn the corner here. We're going to head through the security gate and out into our midway. Now, this is the next area.